Hello guys, Michaela here. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another speed build. Today I have yet another video with a voiceover this time around because I thought that a bigger build like this deserves a voiceover, and I also have the time right now, so I felt like it was a good opportunity to do another voiceover video because I might not have one for like a month and a bit now because I'm starting my job as a teacher in a couple of weeks actually. Well, next week technically, because I am going on a team building thing, and then we will be at school already. So I'm starting next week, and I'm not sure how much time I'll have. So September is going to be like a learning curve basically. I'll have to figure out how much time I have after school with lesson planning, with traveling to my boyfriend's because we live in different cities, around an hour and a bit. Like hour and 15 minutes train ride, so we'll have to figure things out. So that's why in September I'd like to take the pressure off myself with the voiceovers. So there are going to be only music videos, or like videos with music in September. I hope that's all right with you. I promise I'll share some thoughts from my first month of teaching, my full-time job. So yeah, but I just need kind of space to figure things out. Yeah, so back to build. This build is on a 40 by 30 in Windenburg, the island lot. I think it's the lighthouse lot, on the island. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, and it comes in at around 121,000 simoleons. I was actually inspired by a Lego house that I saw on Pinterest. I think I just this morning when I was kind of scrolling through Pinterest, I saw someone else recreate it because I instantly recognized the house itself. But yeah, this was based on a Lego house that I found on Pinterest, and I was super excited when I saw it. I really love these like modern structures, and I usually kind of struggle with them, especially with like flat roofs. I like modern, but I don't like flat roof modern because it just doesn't work for me a lot of the time. So I was very happy that I was able to create this. So it's basically kind of on a rock. So I'm gonna, in a little bit, place a rock underneath the kind of levitating part of the build, like the left side of the build. So there's going to be a rock. I'm going to place a pool. I'm going to place a small pond. I'm very excited about how this build turned out. I really, really like it. It's not necessarily out of my comfort zone, but as I said, I don't usually build modern builds that have like a flat roof because I just don't think I can make them work for some reason. But I think this one worked really, really nice. I would like to kind of take this opportunity to thank Twisted Maxi for all the work that they've been doing, because when the update came out and Lovestruck came out, I struggled so badly without the Better Build and Buy and the tool mod. So I kind of waited a couple of days, weeks to be able to actually build again. Yes, thank you so much. I know that some of the creators and like modders have been a bit bullied after the recent updates came out, so yeah, I'm sorry for that. But I very much value your work. It's amazing. I love it. I couldn't live and build without your mods. So yeah. Big shout out and big thank you. We love you, and sorry that some people are just mean and disrespectful, basically. Anyway, so here I am working on the little pond. I kind of didn't know what to do with the space. I did not visualize like small kids around here, so I didn't want to do like a playground or anything. So that's why I decided to go for the pond, and I think it also worked out quite nicely with the rock on that side of the house. I initially wanted to do the color scheme inside red as well because as you can see, I used kind of flower beds that are with the red flowers, but I just did not find a red swatch, especially in the like Lovestruck items that I liked. So I think the interior ends up being kind of pinkish, like pink, purple, things like that. So I feel like it's a similar kind of tone of color. It's just not red, but it's more like lighter toned down colors like pink and purple. And I really like that. I really like how that turned out. I did a Lovestruck build about 2-3 weeks ago, which was a penthouse, and that was fully purple. It was very out of my comfort zone as I don't usually do this much color, but I really had a lot of fun with that. So here I wanted to kind of keep it a bit toned down compared to that one, but still kind of bringing that character with color a little bit. So the exterior is kind of reddish, while the interior is more kind of pinkish, purplish, things like that. And I really like how that worked out. Also, I gotta be a bit transparent here. I've been contemplating kind of the future of this channel, obviously for obvious reasons. I'm starting my first full-time job. I'm going to be commuting. It's not a long commute, it's like 20 minutes by car, but still it's going to take like an hour out of my day, and I'll have to do like preps for school. So it's going to be quite kind of difficult because it's going to be new. We'll have to figure it out. I have to travel for my boyfriend. He'll come here as well. So I was contemplating a little bit if I should not give up this channel, but it's still a possibility. It's kind of lingering in the air a little bit, but I really hope it's not going to be necessary. My boyfriend is also super supportive, which is amazing. I always thought that whoever I end up with is going to find it very childish and stupid that I built in a game for fun, that I kind of spend my free time in a computer game, especially considering that my boyfriend used to play games a little, but he doesn't anymore. But when I told him earlier this week, he was like, I mean, it's up to you, but I wouldn't want you to give it up because I know how much you love it and how good you are at it, which is so sweet. I almost cried, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, it's still lingering in the air. It's like a last resort, basically. I might take a break to figure things out. I have builds pre-recorded now. I'm kind of really doing a good job at like now that I still have the time, I'm doing a pretty good job at kind of pre-recording, pre-building, having things ready to go. So I have builds. Well, yesterday I finished a build for like early September, and I'm going to my boyfriend's this week, so I'm not gonna be able to build. So yeah, it's a whole thing. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of let you know that there is a possibility that I might either take a break for a couple of weeks, or I might just abandon my channel for an unknown amount of time, I guess, which is, as I said, kind of like a last resort. I really don't want to do it. I love building, but it might be necessary. Because, as I said, I live an hour and a bit away from my boyfriend, so we were planning visiting on the weekend, so we're going to be traveling back and forth. So it's going to be quite time consuming, I think. And we agreed that we're going to take some time before we move in together. So yeah, so just so that you know where I'm at the moment with like mind and commitment. Obviously my job comes first, and I also have still my thesis to finish, like university master thesis to finish, so it's going to be a lot of work in the upcoming months. So yeah, I'm just letting you know that something like that might happen. A break might come, or kind of like an indefinite, a longer break. I really don't want to give it up fully because I've finally got where I wanted to go, where I wanted to get with being monetized on YouTube for over a year now, being in the EA Creator Network. I'm eternally grateful for those opportunities. So I might try and kind of modify things. Maybe there'll be video only every 2 weeks, or yeah, I don't know. I've already kind of made some adjustments. I am planning to maybe dropping the amount of stuff that I post on social media as well. So I'm just going to try and work it out without having to actually stop doing it. But it's just a possibility. And yeah, as I said, my boyfriend kind of tried to talk me out of it because I think that he knows how much it means to me. Well, he definitely does. So yeah. that's just where we're at. I just wanted to let you know so that I'm completely transparent about my, I don't know, headspace, if you want to call it that way. Anyway, I completely talked over the kind of first room that we're working on the interior, and that's the kitchen slash dining space. I really, really love this space. It's fairly small considering how big this build is, but I think the build, not the big, the build gives an illusion of something very big, but it's not actually that big, which is interesting. But I think it's the same thing with the one that I did in Solani like a month and a half ago. It appeared huge from the outside, but it's much smaller on the inside, and especially because there is like the lower floor where there is the bedroom for the parents and a bathroom, I think. Then up here is kind of the main living space. So we have kitchen, bathroom that's accessible from the kitchen, dining space area. Then we have the living room across the hall, and there's also where the main entrance is. And then upstairs we have 2 bedrooms and a bathroom for the kids, I think. There is nothing more. So it's not that big. So yeah, it makes sense that the kitchen dining space is fairly small because I did not have space for a dedicated dining space, dining room. But I really love how this one turned out. I really love this modern fireplace, that's the word, fireplace that I used in here, as well as all the clutter. We have a small bar area, and I really like how that turned out. I really, really love how this room turned out. I think it might be my favorite room in the house, just because it looks very like cozy and lived in. I think I now am realizing that I forgot to talk about the vision for the build that I had. So because the inspiration picture that I used, it was called Architect's House. So I imagined that one of the Sims, one of the parents that lives here, would be an architect, or for the sake of the gameplay, you could be an interior designer, because I don't think you can be an architect in The Sims 4. But you can be an interior designer if you have the Dream Home Decorator game pack. So that's what I imagined one of the Sims living here is doing. I imagined that they are an interior designer, and I thought that was a really nice touch. So downstairs where the bedroom for the parents is, there's also a small kind of divided space where there is an office for the designer, and then there is also a treadmill so they can kind of work out a little bit if they wanted to. I really love the fact that this build is kind of like on both sides, especially like this floor where you have the entrance, and then right you go to the living room and left you go to the kitchen. So I feel like it's very realistic in my opinion, even though it's not that way in the house that I live in with my family. We have kind of the whole way that you get into the living room, which is one big space with kitchen and dining. So it's a bit different, but I feel like this is a very nice flow in the space. Here we are working on the kind of main bathroom, because I think this is the only one that I actually show on camera. And it's also the biggest one, I want to say. I think the ones downstairs and upstairs are only 3x2. It's like smaller bathrooms. So that's why I decided to show you this one, which is the biggest one, which is full of stuff. We have the overhead shower that came with Lovestruck. We have the toilet. We have 2 sinks and some decorations to make it look lived in and used. And now we're moving on to the living room, which is again a room that I really, really like. I think basically this floor is like my favorite because I really like the living room as well. I use the same fireplace as I used in the dining room, and I also use this gorgeous, very elegant couch from Cottage Living in like this very like purpley pinky color that I thought matched really nicely. And I also used the couch from Tiny Living. I initially used 2 of them, but I think I ended up deleting the one on the left here because I'm going to place a piano where this couch is. So yeah, I decided to just make it look a little bit more fancy, I feel like, with the piano. I also placed a couple of bookcases back here from the Book Nook kit, which are my favorite. I really wish we'd get a swatch in this, like the honeywood tones that we have a lot of the like Dream Home Decorator items from, or Tiny Living. I would kill for those because I love that swatch. I use it a lot. It's probably my favorite, but we don't have these bookcases in that swatch, and that makes me a bit sad because I love these bookcases as well, and I would just love to use them in like builds that utilize this honeywood tone. But yeah, it is what it is. We just can't really choose, can we, anymore? I know that in The Sims 3 you could. You had like the wheel, but here we just can't. So we're just gonna have to live with that. So I'm just adding some finishing touches to the living room, and we're moving on downstairs to the parents' bedroom. I used this gorgeous bed from the new Lovestruck pack, which is beautiful. I just added some decorations behind it, and I've been obsessively using this rug throughout the entire house. So I think it's in the living room, it's in the dining room, and it's also here. I also made sure to place this same fireplace again because I don't know, I just felt like a fireplace in a house like this makes sense because it screams luxury to me, at least. So yeah, I also made sure to place a TV down here so maybe the parents can kind of hide out here and watch something without the kids. Yeah, basically. I'm adding a painting, and now I'm trying to figure out the office space. So initially I wanted to keep it open, but then I was like, you know what? I feel like if I close it off, it makes it look a bit more kind of polished and fancy. So I decided to use a not sliding door, but like this gateway. Is it okay? It's not gateway, but I can't think of the word for it. The open kind of doors that we got with the industrial loft kit, I want to say. So here I am trying to figure things out, and here's where I'm deciding that I'm gonna close it off. So I have to move things a little bit in order to make it work. And I use these to kind of divide the space up. So I feel like it's not fully closed, but it's not fully open, and I felt like it just felt, as I said, a bit more fancy and polished and like elegant. So I added some plants, and I'm also going to be adding a treadmill on the other side of this space, and it also allowed me to make like a really cozy lounge area, as well as add a couple of plants. So I feel like it worked out really, really nicely. And I used a treadmill that came with the Lovestruck pack, which also, why did we get another set of kind of workout stuff, especially Lovestruck? Like, do you want to keep the Sims kind of fit so that they can have a lot of woohoo? I guess so. Whatever. We're moving on to the top floor of this house, which is where the two bedrooms are going to be. I heavily relied on Dream Home Decorator for these bedrooms. So there is a lot of those packs, and I was inspired by both the beddings as well as the curtains that I used in these spaces. And I really love how these two turned out. The green one is much more on theme and on color with the rest of the house. The other one is much lighter because I used a light swatch. So it's not fully in line with the rest of the house, but I felt like it was fine because it's probably for like a girl, same like a kid. So I felt like they just wanted something a little bit different, or maybe the pink swatches of things, just which is exactly what's happening. So the pink swatches weren't available in a darker wood tone, so they just decided to buy them this. So I imagine the green one is maybe for like a older kid or a teenager, while this one is for like a younger child. But both are for a child because there are single normal beds. You don't have a space for a toddler in either of those. Also, now that I see it, I've been using this light from high school years throughout the entire house, and I really, really like how it looks. I don't think I've used it that much before. I know I've used it in a couple of Copperdale builds, but I don't think I've used it that much before. Yeah. Anyway, so now we are moving on to the exterior spaces, and there are plenty of them actually. So we have a couple of balconies, we have the gazebo, which I forgot to talk about because I used a debug item that came with Lovestruck. I sized it down, I used a tool mod, and it should possibly work. I haven't play tested it because I don't play test stuff because I'm lazy, let's face it. But it should work. I've seen other people on social media use it, so it should work this way because it's like basically just over a foundation. You have the items on the foundation, so it should work just fine. And I thought it looked really nice. It kind of added a bit of a flair to the build. So here I'm working on the balcony, which is accessible through the upstairs bathroom, which is weird, I know, but that's just how the floor plan worked out. And I placed some yoga stuff, some meditation stuff, a telescope, as well as a chess table. So it's like a skill building area basically. And downstairs we're going to have here a barbecue area, and it's going to be almost it for today's video. So if you want to download this build, you can get it on the gallery. My ID is michaelasimsyt, or you can get the tray files in the description box below, as always, on my Ko-fi page. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my future uploads. For now, I upload every Friday. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!
Find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set them rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. This really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away. But now I seek what you teach. I